Long before Zeus ruled from the heights of Olympus, before his name became a symbol of power, the world belonged to the Titans, ancient and unstoppable beings of immense strength. At the heart of this rule stood Cronus, the king of the Titans, whose grip on the cosmos was absolute. Yet, even the mightiest rulers fear something. For Cronus, that fear came in the form of a prophecy, whispered by the weavers of fate. It spoke of a child, his own flesh and blood, who would rise against him, cast him down, and take his throne just as he had done to his own father, Uranus, before him. Cronus refused to let destiny shape his fate. He took a terrible vow. Every child born to him would be devoured the moment they entered the world. One by one, his children came into existence: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, Hades. And one by one, he swallowed them whole, trapping them in a prison of darkness within his own body. But fate is not so easily denied. Rhea, his wife and queen, was consumed by grief. She could not bear to lose another child to Cronus' insatiable fear. And so, when she gave birth to her final son Zeus, she devised a daring plan. Under the cover of night, she wrapped a stone in swaddling cloth and offered it to Cronus. Unknowing, the Titan swallowed it, believing he had conquered fate once more. But the real Zeus, still an infant, was whisked away to the distant island of Crete, hidden from his father's gaze. Zeus did not grow up in a palace of gold, nor was he raised by the Titans who ruled the world. Instead, he was nursed in secret, fed by the milk of the mystical goat Amalthea, and protected by fierce warrior nymphs. They pounded their shields against the rocks, drowning out the cries of the young god so Cronus would never hear him. From the very beginning, Zeus was different. He was not just another Titan's child. He was the harbinger of change. As he grew, his strength became unmatched, his mind sharp as a blade, his will unbreakable. He knew he was destined for something greater than hiding in shadows. And then the time came. Now a powerful young god, Zeus set out to claim his place in the world. He sought out Metis, the goddess of wisdom, who devised a cunning strategy to overthrow Cronus. With her guidance, Zeus prepared a potion of powerful elixir that would force Cronus to vomit out his swallowed children. Disguised, Zeus entered the domain of Cronus and slipped the potion into his drink. Moments later, the Titan King convulsed in pain. His body twisted as one by one, Zeus' siblings emerged: Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter. Hestia freed at last after years of imprisonment. They were not mere children anymore. They were gods, and they were ready for war. Cronus and the Titans were enraged. They would not surrender their rule without a fight. Thus began the greatest war the cosmos had ever witnessed. The Titanomachy, a battle between the old gods and the new. Zeus, leading the charge, was not alone. He knew that to truly defeat the Titans, he needed more than just his siblings. He needed allies of unimaginable power. He descended into the depths of the underworld, where the monstrous Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires, as creatures of chaos, each with 100 arms, lay imprisoned by Cronus. With a strike of his divine will, Zeus shattered their chains, freeing them. In gratitude, the Cyclopes forged 3 mighty weapons. To Zeus, they gifted the thunderbolt, a weapon of divine fury that could shake the heavens and split mountains in two. To Poseidon, they gave the trident, a weapon capable of summoning earthquakes and controlling the seas. To Hades, they bestowed the helmet of invisibility, a shroud of darkness that could render him unseen, even to the gods. Armed with these legendary weapons, Zeus and his allies marched to war. For 10 years, the earth trembled, the skies burned, and the oceans boiled as the two forces clashed. The Titans, ancient and powerful, hurled mountains like stones. Cronus himself wielded a scythe of destruction, his rage shaking the cosmos. But Zeus, standing at the front lines, unleashed his thunderbolts with a fury never before seen. Poseidon split the land, trapping enemies in bottomless chasms. Hades, invisible, struck from the shadows, turning the tide of battle. Finally, with one final earth-shattering bolt, Zeus struck Cronus down. The Titan King fell, his power shattered. His reign ended. The Titans, now defeated, were cast into the abyss of Tartarus, a prison deep in the underworld where their screams would never reach the world again. And so, the war was over. With the Titans defeated, the universe was without a ruler. But Zeus was no ordinary victor. He did not seek power for himself alone. Instead, he divided the world among his brothers. To Poseidon, he gave the oceans, making him lord of the seas and all within them. To Hades, he gave the underworld, where he would rule over the dead. And for himself, Zeus claimed the skies, the heavens, and the divine throne atop Mount Olympus. Thus, the rule of the Olympian gods began. But victory did not mean peace. Even as he took his place as king of the gods, Zeus faced new threats, new betrayals, and new challenges. His rule would be tested by monsters, by mortals, and by the very gods who once stood beside him. For power, even in the hands of a god, is never safe for long. With the Titans defeated and the throne of Olympus firmly in his grasp, Zeus ushered in a new era, one where the gods of Olympus reigned supreme. From his throne in the heavens, he watched over the world, ruling with both wisdom and fury. Though his rule was absolute, Zeus was not without enemies, betrayals, and battles. The cosmos was not yet at peace. Cronus may have been gone, but his mother Gaia was filled with rage. Furious at Zeus for imprisoning her Titan children in Tartarus, she called forth a new generation of warriors beings, even more fearsome than the Titans themselves. They were the Gigantes, the giants, born of the earth itself, created for one purpose: to destroy the gods of Olympus. The ground split open, and from the depths, the giants rose, towering over mountains, wielding weapons of destruction and shaking the heavens with their war cries. They were immune to the gods' attacks. Only a mortal could kill them. And so, for the first time, Zeus sought the help of mankind. He called upon Hercules, his own mortal son, to aid in battle. The war was fierce. The giants hurled entire islands as weapons, their roars shattering mountains. But Zeus and the gods, alongside Heracles, fought with unmatched power. One by one, the giants fell. The king of the giants, Porphyrion, stood against Zeus, his power nearly equal to the king of the gods. But just as he lunged at Hera, Zeus unleashed a bolt of pure divine energy, and Heracles struck the final blow. The rebellion was crushed. Olympus stood unshaken. Yet even this was not Zeus' final test. From the ashes of the fallen titans and giants, one final threat arose, a being more terrifying than anything before. His name was Typhon, the father of monsters, a colossal, nightmarish creature born from Gaia's wrath. Typhon was no ordinary enemy. He was taller than the highest mountains, with 100 dragon heads, each spewing fire, poison, and storms. His wings blotted out the sun, and his voice shook the very foundations of the world. For the first time, Zeus felt fear. The gods of Olympus fled before the unstoppable beast. Some disguised themselves as animals, hiding among mortals in desperation. But Zeus could not run. He was the king of the gods, and if he fell, all of Olympus would fall with him. The battle was cataclysmic. Zeus hurled bolt after bolt of lightning, lighting up the skies with divine fury. The earth trembled, mountains crumbled, and the seas raged as the god and the monster clashed. But Typhon was relentless. With his many serpent heads, he seized Zeus, crushing him in his monstrous grip. He tore the tendons from Zeus' body, imprisoning him in a cave. Olympus itself trembled. For a moment, it seemed as if the rule of Zeus was over. But gods are not so easily defeated. With the help of Hermes, Zeus escaped, regaining his power. Filled with unmatched fury, he gathered every ounce of his divine strength and unleashed the most powerful thunderbolt the world had ever seen. The sky split apart. The earth shook violently. Typhon, the beast that had terrified even the gods, was struck down and imprisoned beneath Mount Etna. From that day forward, the eruption of the volcano was said to be Typhon's rage, forever trapped beneath the earth. Though Zeus was the ruler of the skies, he was also a god of passion, desire, and betrayal. His love affairs shaped the fate of gods and mortals alike. His wife, Hera, was powerful and proud, but Zeus' heart was never bound to one. His affairs with goddesses, nymphs, and mortal women gave birth to some of the greatest heroes and legends in Greek mythology. With alchemy, he fathered Hercules, the greatest of heroes. With Leda, he fathered Helen of Troy, the woman whose beauty started the Trojan War. With Danae, he fathered Perseus, the slayer of Medusa. But his affairs brought chaos. Hera's jealousy was unmatched. She hunted Zeus' lovers, cursed his children, and sent monsters and hardships to test them. Yet, no matter how much she plotted, Zeus' legacy only grew stronger. The world itself was shaped by his passions. Love and war intertwined in his wake. The one thing even Zeus could not escape. Zeus had defied his father, conquered the Titans, crushed the giants, and defeated Typhon. His power was unmatched. And yet, there was one thing even Zeus could not change. Fate. The same prophecy that had haunted Cronus now turned its gaze upon Zeus. It was said that one of Zeus' own children would rise to overthrow him just as he had done to his father. Zeus, the god who had rewritten destiny itself, feared only this. Would it be Heracles? Apollo? A child yet to be born? Zeus' rule continued for centuries, but he could never escape the shadow of fate. The cycle of father and son, of rise and fall, of power gained and power lost, was one that had existed long before him. And so, even as Zeus ruled from his golden throne, holding the universe in his grasp, he remained forever watchful. For in the end, even the king of the gods must one day face his destiny.